There's a piece of advice that gets repeated constantly in the world of personal branding. Be vulnerable, share your story, show people the real you. And I want to push back on that. Not because your story doesn't matter, your story is everything I believe in, but because vulnerability without intention is not storytelling. It's oversharing. And the difference between the two, knowing which parts of your story to tell and why, that is not a marketing skill, that is a directing skill. I'm Kimberly Ford, filmmaker and founder of Collab Create, a founder story studio. Before I was behind the camera, I spent years in front of it. I trained as an actress, went back into full-time education at 39 to study independent filmmaking, graduated with a first-class honours, then won my first directing award at the Women X Film Festival. I tell you that not as a CV, but because it's relevant to why I see story differently to most people talking about it. I understand what it feels like to be seen by a story and what it takes to build one deliberately. And sitting behind that camera, filming founders, I keep noticing the same thing. The most powerful moment in every interview was almost always the thing nobody planned to say. Most advice about founder storytelling tells you to share your journey, post about your struggles, show people you're human, and then it stops there, as if the act of sharing is the point. It isn't. In filmmaking, we make very deliberate choices about what goes in front of an audience and what doesn't. Not everything that happened belongs in the film. What belongs is what serves the story. So what creates the emotional thread that connects an audience to a character and carries them all the way through. The rest, however real, however significant it felt in the moment, gets left on the cutting room floor. You don't have to tell your entire story, warts and all. What you need to know is which parts will connect, which moments are going to reveal character, which details create that feeling in your audience of, I know exactly what that feels like. That's not vulnerability, that's filmmaking craft. And once you understand the difference, everything about how you show up changes. There are so many women who aren't hiding their stories because they don't have anything worth saying. They're hiding them because they've convinced themselves that showing any part of the journey that wasn't perfect makes them look incompetent. The idea that if you didn't know what you were doing at every single stage, if there were moments of genuine uncertainty, or if you're still figuring parts of it out, that admitting any of that makes you less credible. And layered on top of that is imposter syndrome, which isn't just a little bit of self-doubt. It's the specific fear that at any moment someone is going to look at you and decide that you shouldn't be in that room. And the response to that fear is almost always the same. Be perfect, present, only show the polished version, wait until you have more to show before you say anything at all. There was a part of my own story I nearly didn't include, the part about moving to London with my partner for drama school and not fitting in. Being the only northerner in the room, feeling out of place in a way that genuinely knocked my confidence. I nearly cut it out entirely, but here's what I've come to understand. The story of not fitting in and staying anyway, of failing an audition and going getting myself an agent instead, that's not a story about being an outsider. That's a story about character. And it's the part that people connect to the most, because I didn't include it to be vulnerable. I made a deliberate decision that that particular moment revealed something true and relevant about who I am and how I operate. That's the difference between oversharing and storytelling. That is directing your own story. I was filming a founder who had built his business after being made redundant. He sat down across from me, ready to talk about what he does and why it works. He was composed, professional, prepared, and then something shifted. He'd been made redundant and he started talking about the shock of it. the identity loss, because when your job is tied up in who you are, losing it isn't just a financial event, it's a deeply personal one. And then he said something that I have never forgotten. I never wanted anyone to go through what I went through. And that was it. That was the whole business in one sentence. Not his service, not the methodology, not the case studies, the reason. In that moment, everything he'd said before, the polished, the professional version, became almost irrelevant, because now I understood who he was and why he'd built what he built. This is what I mean when I say founders are hiding their stories. Not always deliberately. Sometimes they just don't realise that the thing they almost didn't say is the most important thing in the room. Part of my job as a filmmaker is to know that, to create the space where it comes out, and to know when it does that we've found what we came for. Thinking about your story like a filmmaker means 3 things. Number 1 is structure. So your story has shape. Who you were before, the turning point that changed everything, the mission driving what you do now. Most founders start in the wrong place. They start with what they do today. Audiences don't connect with what you do. They connect with why you became the person who does it. So start there. The second is character. In film, we understand a character not by what they tell us about themselves, but by the decisions they make under pressure. Your story has those moments. The decisions that didn't make sense on paper. The times you chose the harder thing when the easier thing was right there. Those decisions are your character, and they're more revealing than any amount of polished positioning. The third is intention. So not everything belongs in your story. What belongs is what serves it and what creates connection. So what reveals something true and relevant about who you are and what you're building? The rest you leave out, not because it didn't happen, but because a good filmmaker knows the difference between what's true and what's useful. That discernment, knowing what to include and what to cut, is what separates a story that genuinely connects from one that just puts everything on the table and hopes for the best. The question isn't whether you have a story worth telling, you do. I have never met a founder who didn't. The question is whether you understand which parts of it to tell, which moments reveal your character, which details create recognition that makes someone feel something, or someone feel, this person gets it, this person is for me. That's not vulnerability, that's not oversharing, that's directing your story.